Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here going to be starting probably just an all-out new save file. I think we're going to turn around and actually go through. We have several save files. Just going to actually probably clean those up. And I think totally start from scratch is going to be the plan. Oops, we don't want to go into there. That is our Mesa Plains one, the one we've just been working on, 137,000. We're just going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of them all. Old save files, new save files, whatever. We're just going to totally start from scratch. So there we go. New save game. Lake Valley, Pine Valley, Aurora Falls. I think we're going to go with Pine Valley. Definitely not going to pre-lay. We are going to lay track is going to be our goal. So we're just going to basically start back. It's kind of weird. Lake Valley is over here. You would have thought. It's kind of weird. Guess I haven't honestly looked at starting a new game for quite a while. So, but there we are. Definitely going to go realistic. We'll just keep it on easy. Fuel consumption, auto couplers. That all looks good and normal. Going to kick in Pine Valley 2025. Right, this is going to be the thing. After release, we'll see how much anything has changed. If we notice any differences, stuff like that along the way, boom. There we are. Let's start out with plain old Betsy. I suppose we're going to be on some crazy kind of settings here. We're going to actually have to change a few things. Day cycle, we'll turn that off. We'll keep it early in the morning for now. We're going to lay track, so we don't need to be going through day-night cycles. As that's going, type of weather, dynamic weather, weather events, whatever. We'll just leave that, see what happens. Day links, we don't need that on because we're going to just turn off the day cycle. So there we go. And we'll just go with that. All right, there we are. 7 o'clock in the morning. Looks like a partly cloudy day here in Pine Valley. What are we getting? One car, Betsy, same. Okay, cool. Looking around, see, this ground really is raised for the original, like, old track stuff. This ground is different. Oh, weird now with all that gone. Okay, we can get rid of the HUD, or the mini map, if you will, I guess. It's not really a HUD, it's just mini map. We don't need that. We're not running any trains right now. So we'll just kind of start simple, and with norm, we'll drop in both sides of the dock. We are going to end up using both sides. So we'll just go ahead and drop them in now. Not all the way out to the end. Kind of interesting there, the link. And there we go. All right. Those are nice and low to the ground. Cool. It's wow, when you get used to the other maps nowadays, like coming back to Pine Valley, there are so many trees. They are just everywhere. Absolutely. Okay, how do we want to do this? Are we going to bring... Yeah, the debate is do we keep 3 lines? We could just turn around. I do kind of like having the 3 long lines there. Just so many options to do at the beginning of the game. It's really hard to decide how you want to start. At least it is for me. I mean, some people probably have a total plan. I definitely never do. So doesn't really work that way for me, I guess. There we go. We'll take out some of these. We know they're going to have to go away, so we might as well just get rid of them. Tons and tons of trees in here. We are going to try to do a lot more holding. Not going to really hold back for track building on this one. We've definitely laid Pine Valley before. We know that we can get away with putting in quite a bit here. So not going to worry about things too much here performance-wise. And trying to keep it simple or anything like that. Not too worried about any of that. Don't really want this to curve, so we're gonna have to drop that. No, or not, because it's going to be so short that it probably isn't even going to matter. We'll turn around. Let's just see what we end up with. Again, totally filling around. No real, like, overall plan for this layout. So, yeah, just absolutely, like, puny little straight track in between them if we try to keep it like this. I wonder how this is going to work. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. You know, there's the kicker. Trial and error. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Don't need the extra switches in there. Just wanted to see if we could get this to be straight and not bowed out. Definitely don't want it to be curved. We want a flat edge. Alright, we good? We good. Not a lot of holding, but we can turn around and stuff something off on the side for sure if we need to or want to. Right there. Not that. Who knows? Probably won't even use it. And it'll probably get changed. But, you know, you got to get the building started somehow. So, there you go. Now the question is, if we keep all three of these rails and run them out, long. Let's see what happens there with the ground. Again, just a trial and error. See, we know that the ground is off here because this was all, you know, 3 switches into 1 originally. Was how all that worked. Wow. So if we just run out on that, like, it is absolutely planted on the ground. It's giving us a green, so we should be good to go. So I guess we'll just keep running this out and see what we get here. Probably should have flown. Be scooting along here a little bit faster than we are. Although, too, we are going to want to do some turnarounds in here. We'll just figure all that out as we go. No point getting crazy right this minute. We're just going to wing it. How far can we go with this? Alright, we're going to start to dip down here, so we don't want to go too far. And we'll go with that. Interesting. Let's see. What are we thinking? If we grab all of these up somewhere, how far back can these go? Yeah, one never knows, right? You're just gonna wing it. If we do this, and then we go here. How much curve is that gonna give us? Is it gonna give us the curve that we want? That's the question. And then how much spacing do we need? Alright, time to fly. So zoom down here. Whoa, trees are kicking us up. And then we will grab this. Generally wouldn't go through all this to actually just start the railroad. Normally keep it simple and would turn around and start cranking out things way later on. Yeah, so somewhere in there. So if we skip, cool, Ragon, you can go to like there. And then what we'll do, we're gonna come down here and get rid of some of all these trees. I know a lot of people have always said it'd be cool to have a way to remove all the trees while you build and then put them back and then delete them, or have auto deleting trees, you know, if you lay track through it, or when you complete a piece of track. Be cool. There is, you know, always the cutting down of trees. I know some people absolutely hate it, waste of time. Some people absolutely love it though too, sending everything flying when possible. So hey, everybody likes to play different. Used to be Lumberjack Simulator, take you forever to get through. Nowadays, honestly, removing trees, laying track much faster than it used to be. So, you know, I don't find it honestly too bad, especially considering back to the old days. Game has come quite a long way since started playing it. And there we go. Do have to say, Pine Valley has always been one of my favorite maps. Probably always will be. no matter what they come up with. It's just kind of the start of the game, you know. Alright, so there we go. Now with this, we are going to want a switch like... Here's the question. I think we'll go like this. Just because. So we'll drop that in there. And then that's going to let us come up and get rid of that. We're not going to need that one. We are also actually not going to need this one. Although we could keep this one and maybe use... We could use this probably for some sort of turnaround or something later. So that one I think we'll leave in just for who knows. We can always take it out later if it's something that we don't end up wanting or using. But I think for now, we'll just leave it there. It's nice to have options. Might as well keep it in there. Being it's already there. Alright. That's going to take care of that one. So many trees. But so many trees. Having a lumberjack on the crew is not a bad thing. That's for sure. Not for Pine Valley. But, you know, it's all in the name, right? Pine Valley. It's kind of, you expect it. Okay, so then this, and we will do one, which we're going to skip, and then that one. Perfectly cool. Get rid of that one. That should keep our spacing decent at any rate. Probably not going to be perfectly straight the way we would go with it, but should be good enough. And then we'll just kind of keep all of that going. Oops, wrong. We want that. Get rid of some more of these trees. Yo, get underneath. Good thing we don't need a hard hat. We don't need that. What we actually need is that. There. Boom. And then we'll run this. We are good to go. Definitely going to see some groundwork there, though. But all good. We'll let that go there. And then we'll grab one that can curve where it wants. Should make everything come out decent there. Good enough. Don't know how far we're going to actually get. We definitely do know there are easy ways for us to get going, so not going to worry about too much. Probably will be skewing the system a little bit on this one, as in we're not going to, I don't know how much, you know, whatever. Well, pretty much everything I do, though, is going to be shown on in video this time, or at least as much as possible. It's hard to get everything all the time because there are some things that are just like tedious and time consuming, to be quite honest, and you know, I spend enough time just looking at things that probably doesn't necessarily make for a great video, but we'll try to show, you know, some of it. I do know some we will definitely be like, you know, moving things along, or little shortcuts here and there, I guess, is how I would look at it. I don't think it's cheating, because I don't think you can really cheat in RO. You can play the game however you want. That's kind of the idea behind it. You know, when they say open sandbox, that's what that really is supposed to mean. You can do whatever the heck you want to do, so there is no right or wrong way to play the game, right? Just whatever you like, which has always been the part of the game that I personally enjoy. So there will probably be a little bit of quote-unquote shortcut taken on this one. Alright, how is our curve working? Are we going to make... No, we're going to have to do some more. A little bit of curve here. So, we will just come in here. We're going to just bend it. Yeah, it's going to get really tight because of how we do that. That's going to be the problem. Alright, if I put it into precise mode. Boy, a 30, how tight is that already? Ay. Really super tight. And I don't know. But I would like more room. Let me look. I like the way that's all running in together, which is nice. The problem is we're starting to run out of space on this side and don't really want to be down in the hill. Okay, if we just crank it for a very short, let's just see what we get out of that. I really don't want one that. I don't want a 30 right there that close, but it's really for a couple of feet. Yeah, but see, that's going to turn the whole thing because that's going to make it all super sharp. Okay. So we'll have to go back here and change just a couple of things. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Think we'll get rid of this, this, and this. And then we'll turn. We will start to turn the track a bit here first. So we probably have something like this. And then now hopefully we can get in these. If we can get that main line attached, we'll call it a win. Alright, there. Back to the track. I don't know why I'm starting out with all this stuff anyway. All I need. Wait, what? That's an awkward one. I wonder why it's trying to do that. What are you bent up about in this here? Get over here. Shouldn't even be that bad. I was gonna say. Shouldn't be that bad a curve, really. Yeah, it's not. That's not horrible at all. Actually, should be very easy for the train to do that. Alright, go and grab that from this eye up. Cool. Ooh, are we not far enough? We don't want to curve back. Hold up. I have to look at this from above. No, we should be okay. Right? I guess. Let's get down there. We'll just attach it. Worst case scenario, we end up deleting it, right? Then we'll take a look at it. Hey! Stop it. Oh, yeah, see, it definitely does curve back, and that we don't want. So, that one is not going to work. Close, get rid of it. Hey! Alright, some of these trees and stuff, we just got to get rid of. I do like to remove the trees where I build. I don't really like building through the trees, to be totally real. Never have. It's always been nice to go through and cut the trees in your path. Also, then sometimes it's a pain in the butt because you end up cutting on an entire row of trees or something somewhere that you don't end up putting track down, and then you just have, you know, barren tracks. But lots and lots of trees. The nice thing with Pine Valley is this was always justification for this is why your logging camp has so many trees in it. Okay, we need one of these and we need it that way, and we're going to stick it on that end, and then we're going to get rid of that. Just track that. and attach this quick enough. Should go now. Yeah, that's gonna be fine because we're short of the curve. There we go. Cool. We are straight to curved. I don't know. Wait, actually. Is that straight enough? Yeah, it's straight enough. We should have actually pulled it out straight, probably until somewhere in here, and then have brought it over to the curve, but that's not going to be too bad. That's lining out okay so far. We just have one tree left in here. We might as well get rid of that. We'll put some yard stuff in and around there. Let's get rid of a few more. New. Yeah, we're just gonna clean out the train yard this time. Have done it where we've tried to leave every tree that we possibly could, and yeah, there's always definitely options in there how you want to do it. Alright, this is going to get us to the depot. We have seeds. Do we even have the... I don't think we even have the farm set on the stock map, do we? No, sawmill, smelter, there is no farm... Right, so whether you have the farm stuff or not, the seeds are still there on the dock, I guess. Right, rock on. Okay. Just a straight hard addition to the freight depot. Alright, there we go. Good enough start, and that gets us on the way. Of course, we are like sliding right off the hill again. So we'll have to fix that, but I think we're gonna just roll with it. Let's see if we can actually get away with it on groundwork 1. If we have to go to groundwork 2, we're probably gonna have to go to groundwork 2. It looks like, yeah, it's already too high. So let's just cut that and go here, and then get us over to some flat ground on a decent. Not gonna. Do we have to change the elevation? No, we're not gonna change the elevation. We're just gonna rock it along a little bit until it's just further down the ditch than I wanted to be by quite a bit, actually. Alright, 60 is good enough for speed. So we will have to bring that out a little bit. And we'll just deal with how the other one is going to attach and wear in here later. Because we are going to need that side plus that side. Yeah, with the seed side. So who knows? I'm sure we'll attach it at some point. Just not going to be right here, right now. Or to this. But again, that's one of those. It's nice because you can do whatever you want. Whoa. Alright. You know, the easy way to do this nowadays that we can fly is probably just to get way up here and stop actually building from down in the trees anyway. And then we can run that. Yeah, there. I suppose we're still on groundwork 2. Probably don't need that, so we will switch to groundwork 1. Man, how many times I've laid this run just in like basically one straight track all the way between here and there, so it's weird now that it's not. But then, dude, as I say, don't normally start with all this stuff at the start, so it is going to change things. Alright, we will be something like, we know we want to get out here. We don't need to be all close to the hillside or anything. The more room we have, the better. Alright, fly down a little bit. Little bit. There we go. Hey. Hook up. Cool. Up, down, up, down, up, down. I don't really want to get down in the trees. So if we do like this, great, cool, then here we will turn around and put a split. Oops. Put a split going that way. This one we will crank all the way around eventually. That'll go off that way. This one will go straight. That'll Y back into it. Alright. Take out some more trees. Holy tree cutting. The logging camp should be nice and full by the time we get there. What is going on? Can't tell if we're sinking or the tree is flying. Alright. Lots of trees, lots of trees. Do we run back the whole way right now? Nah. Okay, approaching the sawmill. Not that the sawmill is our actual goal. We need to get out to the logging camp anyway. No idea how much of that we're going to get in today. Just trying to get in to start, you know? That's hard enough. Not hard enough, I guess, but it takes enough. Okay, so now how do we want to do this? We're going to want to go boom. We're going to want to bring one definitely into here. Okay. Might as well come over here and start with a few things because we can get some straight lines. Wait, do we not have a link in here? Yeah, there we go. Alright. I was gonna say, no way they didn't put a link on this one. There we go. Cool. I have to say, Pine Valley always has looked really good. I like this map. Always have. Mix, you can go steep, you can go gentle, you can set whatever rules you want to set and work it out. You can pretty much do the whole thing at 3% if you want to. Or you can just go ham and have much faster runs. Wow. Oh, hung up in a tree. Alright, plenty of cutting there. Now, let's see. What are we going to do here? We're going to use these. Bam. Yeah, drop me on the ground. I don't care. It's going to be, we'll probably take that one so the rest of these can go. Cool. Grab track. There. We are just going to keep that crossover in there. Might as well go lay this dock super fast. Question is, how are we going to do this side? Because if we do this, we actually almost need that's true. So if I drop that there, get rid of that quick. This is the one place I'll put a switch at the dock, even though I don't really like to, but we're going to do it there. Just because this whole sawmill thing, I pretty much have a way that I like to do that, so I don't see a heck of a lot change, or a lot of a reason to change what we do there much. How far out do we want to take this? Is the question. Just don't want to drop the switch right on top. If we try to go there, switch right, but we want the stand on that side, although I could have just left the stand. That might be too far. Yeah, that might just be too far. The thing is, with the remote switches, try to keep, you know, a little bit of a gap, in where put the switches, so they're not all on top of each other. This is generally the thinking. Alright, so let's just do 3 meters. And then we will put in the switch. Again, try that. Then we'll see what kind of curve we get here. Normally I just put them right at the switch. So this is a little bit of alteration that I'm trying to do with the remote. With the remote switching, just to keep it a little bit easier. We're just gonna see where it goes. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if we're just short of 60, that is not going to make me sad here. That's not bad. Cool. And then this side can go straight. Whoa! Where are we? What are we in here? There we go. Yes, I know you can lay straight track just straight up in the in freehand mode. It's just not how I do it, but you definitely can. Okay, let's go up in the air because we are gonna need to meet that somewhere, and we don't want to go too crazy out of town if we don't have to. Like to keep all the switches in as tight as possible here, just to make it easier. What side do we want this on? Almost want to go the other way. Not totally sure. We can always move it. Hey, there we go. See if that will give us what we want here without going. Oh yeah, we're good. Shouldn't be a big deal. Not even gonna worry about like measuring. Just gonna let it go. Yeah, decent curve. We'll take that. So let's get rid of the trees on it. Go ahead and blow this back just a bit so we can see. Obviously, loading and unloading stuff gonna go on in and around here. No point in having all the trees in the way. I have to say, it's kind of fun being back to Pine Valley. A little bit of familiar. Haven't been here long enough that it actually is kind of fun to do. Nice thing with the 4 maps there is, you know, by the time you play through them nowadays, you probably are ready to go back to something different. You can always run right back through them. I guess that's kind of going to be the point of this. Yeah, we'll still get rid of more here. As I said, this time not worried about how many trees we take out. Not going to worry about any of that stuff. Extra holding here at the sawmill is going to be interesting. Don't really generally tend to hold a lot here. This is more what I consider to be like a pass through industry, so you're either dropping here or you're picking up and leaving from here and going places. So not necessarily some place where I would look to hold a lot. At least right around the industry. So we could easily put, you could throw a siding into this right here on this side and hold a fairly sizable train there. Also extending this out, no problem. Putting whatever you'd like there. Oh, do we keep the group of trees or do we just get rid of them all? I think we're just going to get rid of them all. One thing you don't see a lot of inside the industry, at least that I've seen, are, groups of trees. So we'll just get rid of it all. Nice, easy, open, and then if we want to put train stuff in here, we have plenty of room for more train stuff. Alright, not totally done yet because we haven't put the loop on there. We need to draw one out that way. So much to do when you first get started. Alright, take this out. We're going to just keep it the same as the other side. So we'll go just with a 3 meter. Then we're going to take a switch left. We'll keep the stand out on that side this time. There we go. Bam, bam, bam. We can put you there for now. Logs. More logs. Do have to say it'd be nice if they put a bump stop that just straight had groundwork underneath it. You can always do it however you'd like, but it would kind of just be nice if that was done. Alright, pop the trees. Those. We're already cutting trees. What is that? Oh, flowers. Yep. Sweet. Across there. And there. Slap. All quick and easy. Certainly has gotten much easier nowadays. Why does it feel like the time is changing, or is the weather changing? The time should not be changing because we put off day cycle. So this must be some. Oh, it's cloudy. Yeah, it was only partly cloudy. Now cloudy. So weather event. Yeah, there you go. Weather events. Whether you have the day or night cycle on or not, the weather events still do occur. There you go. Because it is now totally cloudy. I was like, it's getting dark all of a sudden, and the day shouldn't be changing. Alright. That is all in there. That is in there. This is going to run out. Is that a way? No, we're going to have some straight somewhere in here, probably. We could have gone much further, actually. I don't want to have 10 different pieces in here or anything, so we'll just cut that. And we'll come back. Oops. Do not push extra buttons. Alright, throw that somewhere in there. That should work. And then we'll go that way, but we want to switch that way. Connect that up. Sweet. That's going to run out that way for us. And now we're just going to turn around. Oh, wow, that's actually not too far off each other. That's hilarious. Man, it's been so long, I can't remember what the curve here is. I want to say it's like 35 or something. 35 makes it around 35, 36. Something like that. Let's try. Let's give 35 a shot and see what happens. If that's what it is. Oh, look at there. Close enough. Boy, I don't know if I like how that auto attached though. I think we're gonna get rid of that. Felt a little more crooked than it needed to be. Could be totally wrong, and I might end up just putting it right back, but I think we're gonna go there, try to kick it out to 36. And then if we lay it like that and then finish it over. Yes, it's going to be two pieces, but I feel like that is going to be a much smoother curve. So that's how we're going to do that. And then we'll get rid of some of all of this, which is tons of it. Of course, this is just the sawmill, so there you go, you know. Still not out to the logging camp, which is really where it'll all get started. But it doesn't really necessarily. Oh, look at that. There were 3 trees right there. Bruh. There were like 3 trees on top of. Okay. Whatever. All these are going to go away too. We already know what having these trees in our loading circle is like, and it's just a pain in the butt. Although nowadays we can move the camera, so it's probably not, you know. Probably didn't need to actually take all these out nowadays, but gonna do it anyway. There we go. Oogie. Probably you're 1 or 2 more of these just are on the edge for visual sake. Good enough, good enough. Good, good, good. Okay. Sweet. And then that one will go out. I don't even know if we need bump stops on these, how much we're going to be running trains before we actually have track in that place anyway. Okay, that's most of the actual sawmill, so that's not horrible. Again, we have plenty of room for some extra holding track in here if we actually need it. Thing is, like I say, this is one place don't tend to actually hold a lot of trains. At least I do not. Oop, we do not want that on singles. Let's crank that back over. Bam, get us zeroed. We'll do this. I think if we run to here, that's fine. Oh, now we're getting some rain. We have gone from partly cloudy to rain. So check that out. Weather events doing their thing. Which is kind of cool. Alright, that should stop our train. Should we need it to? Alright. So we just gotta get that out of that. Wow, we are definitely experiencing a weather event. That's cool. Lightning. Dig it. Nope, we want to keep flying. Whoa! That was a nice crack of lightning out there in the distance. So let's just get rid of some of these trees here. Ay, ay, ay. Things are getting real here in the weather and the lightning and the rain. It's cool. See, now you'd like to say that thing blew way over like that just because of the wind. Probably not, though. we will widen out some of this in the future. For now, we'll just try to mainly get the track clear. Hopefully we don't miss any. Too bad, we should have actually already put some wood into the loco so that that would have been warming up. Or been warmed up when we go to use it. Oh, the lightning cracking is cool. Yeah, oops, you know, one thing I should look at is where's the audio for, yeah, it's still down on the Mastodon, so we'll crank that up. Get that back up to normal since we're not running the Mastodon obviously anytime soon. Not that I would mind running it. Great locomotive. There we go, a little more crack in the lightning there. This is actually going to be a little bit better, I think, than normal, where this line becomes so straight a lot of times. I think I'm going to be a little happier with it having a gentle curves here. So far, I'm digging it. Of course, I haven't run anything down it yet. Nice thing here on Pine Valley, unless they added anything, you know, what you don't have to look for are little sticks, stones, or any of that stuff to be in your track. I mean, here you're looking at full-grown trees that you're popping out, or you are good to go. At least as far as I know, unless, of course, they have added any of the little things. But we shall find out. Alright, this is pretty much getting us back to where we started. So, we get through there. Obviously, we have more trees that are going to go away there. More track to come out this way. Let's turn around and drop down here quick. See if we can at least get some things doing some things. Not that we can get out to the yard yet, or to the logging camp. Oh, water is 300 out of 800, so almost a third of a tank. Alright, not empty. That's cool, that'll get us going. Here we are just gonna re-rail this. If we have room back here, yes sir we do. Sweet. We will off that. Auto couplers are on. Bit different for Betsy with the auto couplers. Probably take us just a bit here to warm up. Stack is pumping out the smoke there though, so she is in progress. Taking in the lighting. That was a good crack there. Let's see where we're at here. 80 degrees and climbing. Little engine should heat up pretty quick. The lightning is just absolutely everywhere. It's awesome to see. Definitely did not have that back in the day. Water's looking decent on the dock. A decent rain effect there. I'm assuming the water doesn't really hit John though. Yeah, he's weather resistant. He is a railroad man. Railroad men are weather resistant. Alright, here we go. 240, 250. Getting close, getting close. Just over 200 is what we're looking for. We can turn the brakes off. Reverser, we're going to need a little bit of that going on. Probably will not keep this telegraph booth office here, although maybe. It's far enough away from the depot that we don't have to hear it all the time. And bam, pressure. Here we go. Not sure if we can move on that light. Oh, we can. Check that out. Should be good enough to get us hooked up. Sweet. Betsy working on the low pressure. So I think what we'll do is we'll just try to head this one out to the sawmill for now, where we actually have built out too. That'll give us a little bit of room to test the rail. No headlight. No headlight. No. No headlight. No taillight. Not a single luxury. It's kind of the Gilligan's Island of locomotives. Not a single luxury on board this thing. Just a get her done. Base model. The early days. See if we can sneak this thing out. Again, nice changes. Auto switches all coming through here. Our little auto bend in there, I don't think we're gonna have a problem with. Looks like it's a nice short enough thing. Didn't even bother a thing. There we go. Our high curve there. Sliding onto the main. And just gonna be cruising along. Hopefully we got all our trees here. It'll be just a quick start and go. I remember the days, boy, when you first started this thing with the first track building and between the trees and all the rest of it. Probably take you 5 hours to do what we just did. At least for most people. And you probably still had 3 spots in the railroad that, like, your train didn't actually want to go over, or it could derail, or any of the rest of it. So the game definitely has come a long way as far as ease of play, or arguably playability for most people. It used to be, you know, you would have had to have probably considered it a little bit tedious back in the day. Some people absolutely loved it. Obviously, I think it is much more user-friendly nowadays. But getting done what used to take a long time either way, especially if you were going to lay the track anywhere near this clean or neat, it would have taken you several hours. So time is definitely improved, or at least your use of time. We got a bump stop here. We're good. Just a switch. Again, we are just going to pull things out to where we are finished. Here's a good overhead look at what we've done. Keeping that. We will bring her to a rest somewhere in there. Not too bad. Alright. And a nice smooth transition across the crossover, the 90-degree crossover. So that came out good. Kick up on the power. We'll just leave it right in the middle here. A little bit different now, completely starting over. No extra save files or anything like that, so that's going to be interesting to go. We are back to basic Betsy. And there we go. I think we have some more track. Obviously, we're going to be running out to the logging camp next time. I don't want to turn around and put it in too big, huge chunk of a video and just make it to where it's all just run together in one. So I think we'll probably take that out on the next episode. I mean, that gets us started, gets our sawmill in. Obviously, our logging camp here is going to be our next target. I know normally I go in the front with some bridge work and stuff. Want to try some different stuff this time, so I don't want to rush and just slam that in there. I kind of want to go try to find the path, so I think we'll get that in on the next one. But overall, I think there is our sawmill for overhead. Obviously, we'll have the tracks coming out. You'll see that as it comes to development, but there is the start of the depot and the start of the sawmill. So I think with that one, we're definitely going to call it a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.